Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Communicative Leader. I'm your host, Dr. Leah O, and today we're privileged to have Sairan join us. This is going to be a transformative conversation about empowering midlife women. Sairan is an accomplished engineer and also a business coach and strategist who's dedicated to supporting midlife women as they navigate unique challenges and opportunities in the professional landscape. With a passion sparked by her own journey, Sairan understands firsthand the complexities women face during this pivotal stage of life and career. In this episode, we're going to explore the common communication patterns that might hold midlife women back, strategies for articulating their value, and how they can embrace evolving priorities. Sairan will also share her insights on networking, overcoming imposter syndrome, and the important role of mentorship in fostering empowerment. Whether you're a midlife woman seeking to redefine your career path or a leader looking to support your female colleagues, this conversation is packed with actionable advice, encouragement, and inspiration to help you thrive in your career. So let's dive in and have some fun. Hello, and welcome to The Communicative Leader, hosted by me, Dr. Leah O'Million-Hodges. My friends call me Dr. O. I'm a professor of communication and a leadership communication expert. On The Communicative Leader, we're working to make your work life what you want it to be. Sairan, we're so excited to have you on The Communicative Leader. And before we dive in, for our listeners, can you share a bit about your journey into coaching and strategy and what specifically sparked that passion for empowering midlife women?
Thank you, Dr. Leah, for having me at your lovely podcast. As you see on my LinkedIn page, it's over 30 years engineering. That's telling you for sure I'm old. I'm not a new grad from engineering. So my bachelor is civil engineering, which is all construction. I started with wood on the ground, doing survey, field inspection, just start from the bottom, right? Doing everything what civil engineers do. And then when I moved to United States in 1996, I knew that I need to pursue more grad degree in order to, scale at my engineering career. So I went back to school and I earned my master's degree in system integration. And right after that, I started the doctoral program in 2018. I was all pumped up, excited. Yay, I'm smart, math. This is my baby. I can do it. No problem. Well, I was wrong, right? Because doctoral, as you know, you earn a PhD degree in doctoral. You know how hard it is. It's dedication. It's literally, I knew later after the first semester, I need to be in a cave and just grow a bear and just, right? Just study and do research. I could not handle the first semester because it was too much on me. I had two kids back then, teenage in high school, and my husband was overseas traveling 80% of the time. And here I am, almost a single mom, taking care of two kids, working full-time job and starting a doctoral. But always life, Dr. Leah, put things in front of us in purpose to pivot and redirect us to different direction for something more impactful in our life. And that's exactly what happened when I was at my doctoral program. Right after the first semester, I was approached by the Department of Women in Engineering at my university. They said they like me to give a speech for the younger engineer who just graduating from engineering school. Basically talk about the reality about women in engineering. What does it look like when you graduate and you hit the workforce? Is it all rosy? Is everybody will welcome them? As you know, is never the case. So I was like, okay, I'm not a speaker, but I will give it a shot. So I went there, and after I spoke with those younger engineers, I think it was like an hour and a half, the head of the department approached me and she said, oh, the girls loved you. You happen to be a life and business coach. And I thought in my mind, coaches is just for athletes, because I was a swimming coach myself back in Iraq. And I was like, no, I was just a swimming coach. She said, oh, they really loved the way how you address the stories and how to illustrate the real life. There was a lot of, sense of humor. You make them very relaxed. You didn't scare them about the reality. I think you are born a coach. And I was like, what's she's talking about? She made me curious. I put my doctoral in freeze, it's still in the
Mm-hmm.
freeze until now.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell in love with the coaching and mentoring. And I start a small business, and the rest is history. So I see my life in a way transition, although I'm still a full-time
Mm-hmm.
engineer doing engineering job 9 to 5, but my passion and my skill and my hidden gem and my everything speak to me when I really see me in the room with women, not only empowering them, because motivation and empowerment, it doesn't last long. It's like a painkiller, right? You
Yeah.
can give it to someone and they just relax for a couple of hours. Mine is more about action and strategy. This is why after 5 years being a transition expert in coaching women who internationally moved to United States legally with engineering degree, I was helping them to fulfill their American dream. And I was like, you know what? I'm an engineer. I should be more courageous and change my niche. So I changed my niche 2023 and I become a business strategist. Basically, I guide midlife women to really think about their midlife stage not as an end, but as a
Mm-hmm.
rebirth. This is a time to rediscover hidden talent, redefine their success, and take bold action towards new opportunities.
Yeah, thank you, Sairan. There's so many beautiful things that you pulled in there, and I really love that you're just demonstrating the amount of kind of flex and leaning into new curiosities and interests and passions. Because I think so many think, oh, I've got this job, I have this degree, and I'm done, and this is what it is, and this is my lane. And for some, that will work. But for many, we recognize that's not going to keep filling all of these different needs that we have.
Yes, yes, and you said, Dr. Leah, something a word very profound, curiosity. And I feel if you lose the curiosity and the ability to create and innovate, you are aging automatically.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm 50 and I play it so safe every day, I go to work, pick up the paycheck, have 2, 3 vacation with my kids, taking pictures on Instagram, make it look like
Mm-hmm.
it's the best family. There is no joy there. That's just a
Yeah.
routine day by day. But the curiosity you mentioned and the ability to keep innovating, keep
Mm-hmm.
having ability to is all energy. Like I'm creating an idea, I'm creating a small
Yep.
business. That's what you feel that you're midlife, you're 50, you feel you are 30 because you keep
Mm-hmm.
producing ideas. So there is no limit for women. Yeah.
Excellent. And so with that, and I know that you've been doing this for a while and in different capacities, but I imagine kind of across the board, there have been some unique challenges and opportunities that you've kind of seen emerge for many women that are facing in midlife in their careers.
Yes, for sure. I mean, those challenges will never go away. If I come here to this podcast and I say, "Oh, you can delete those challenges," guess what? It will never go away. Why
Yep.
those blocks basically it stay there. We just need to have the skills how to handle those challenges and block, how to jump over them, or how to befriend them. On I see on midlife women, we face really unique challenges. And in the professional world, let's talk about the
Hmm.
professional, the
Yep.
career. You see the ageism, you see the shifting career priorities, you see younger people who climb the ladder way faster than you, and here you
Hmm.
are with the experience, with the credential, with all the degree you have. You see someone with maybe heavier network skills, right? He become your boss or
Hmm.
he become someone higher than you. I see those challenges still there, but the opportunity, I always tell the midlife women when they approach me to be a client, I said, never ever forget the skills and the experience you have. No one can take that away from you, Dr. Leah.
Hmm.
You can be in
Hmm.
the room. I can bring all those geeks, my kids' age, come
Hmm.
challenging you. But there is only one Dr. Leah who has over 20 years experience.
Hmm.
That amount of experience and skills you have, nobody can take it away from you. No one. You just have to leverage it. You have to celebrate it. And also think about it for midlife women. We get to a point when we hit our 50, the ability for solving problems. It's amazing. My daughter always telling me, Mom, why you just let go? Why you need to solve everything? Like I take my engineering equation ability even to life. Like when something happened in the house and I'm trying to be a handy woman and fix things, she said, Mom, just ask someone to fix it. But because when we hit the midlife, we feel like we have the ability to solve problem, even if it's not related to our experience, even if it's not physician or law or engineering. We have that skill set. Let me see how can I do this. And also the most important things we have in midlife as women, we have a strong emotional intelligence. And this emotional intelligence and confidence and ability to handle our emotion and being contained and be, like when you see somebody, oh, he's a stoic, right? He's very stoic, because that doesn't come when you are 20. With all respect to the younger generation, I have two in the house. I have 23 and 21. My son and my daughter, they are very, very, very stoic, very mature. But in general, you don't get to that competent and confidence until many years of experience. So the opportunity, as we have the challenges, but the opportunity is there. It's treat that stage as a time for reinvention rather than limitation. This is not a limitation stage. This is a reinvention.
Yeah, what a powerful way for you to help reframe that. Because again, you're getting so many messages from society, and whether it's explicit or implicit, like you said, you're watching other people progress more quickly. But instead of, leaning into that negative narrative, looking and saying, what have I developed? What have I cultivated that others haven't had the opportunity to or the need to?
Exactly. You said what you cultivated is layers. It's a year after year after year. Your reputation at Dr. Leah, at your career, didn't come overnight.
Yep.
You worked so hard in order to get to this point, and no one can take that away from you.
So powerful. So I'm wondering now, as a communication scholar, I'm going to ask you about some of these common communication patterns or habits that you see, especially among midlife women, that might be holding them back from achieving their full potential.
Very good question. I love that because we do it every day. I'm guilty of doing it. I'm still doing it. Every time I'm like, let me rephrase what I just said. We feel because we are a midlife stages, we hesitate to self-promote. We think that we have this belief that, oh, my work should speak for itself. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Everything is now marketing and sell. You sell yourself everywhere, right? In speaking gigs, in podcasts, in conferences, in staff meeting, even in educational institution. You have to really market yourself in a way. You need to remind the audience what is your real value. Because we tend to be like, we kind of like play it safe. We go in the corner, we sit on the table, say, I'm just listening. No, listen and also add value. And people will always call you back, Dr. Leah, when they see the value. They said, oh, her appearance, oh my God, she adds so much value. So people always tend to run to that. So don't be hesitate at a midlife woman to self-promotion, because not all the time your work speak for that. And other things, I see, I'm guilty of that. I'm still doing it. I try to reduce it as much as I can. We over apologize. We use a lot of passive language. And when we say, for example, he said, oh, let me help you. I think, I believe. Don't think and believe. Just say, shift that language. Say, I recommend. I recommend you to do this. And when you are in 50 or like me in mid 50, when I say I recommend, I seen it. When I tell a younger engineer in the team, I recommend you to do this way, I'm mentoring that young girl. I'm not saying that because I read that line in a book. It's not just reading book. I've been in it. I've been through it, right? So we need to kind of be careful about our language. We need to choose the word. They teach us at the coaching school, said always try to tweak or change the negative connotation to something more powerful. So when people come to you and say, I'm old, and say, no, you are wise. Oh, I am not able. No, you are facing challenges. Don't say problems, say challenges, blocks. So we need to watch our languages in order to come across with someone with skills and more wisdom.
Yes, yes. I love that. I was thinking, if I just watched a YouTube video and I think this is how I fix my sink at home because,
Yeah.
I have self-efficacy, I can say, I think then. But when I'm in a meeting and someone's asking me for leadership advice, I recommend what I've learned, what I've
Yes.
studied, what I've found. Yep.
Yes, thank you very much. Exactly. Because it's
Yeah.
come from a place of
Mm-hmm.
experience and skills. You have not
Mm-hmm.
accumulate this from reading a book or, like you said, watching a YouTube. That doesn't make you
Mm-hmm.
an expert.
Yep.
That doesn't
Yep.
make you an expert, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's look a little more about communication. And I'm sure this is a conversation you've had with many of your clients, but how do you recommend? So, if women at this stage of their careers, how do they effectively communicate their value and experience in a way that resonates with younger generations and leadership teams? And I mean, you've kind of hinted at this, but if you have anything else that you kind of go to in helping women navigate this, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I face that in both places, in my house and at work. I mean, effective
Mm-hmm.
communication is such a crucial. Communication is very
Mm-hmm.
important. I do it at home with two two
Mm-hmm.
kids, 123, 121, new generation, all
Mm-hmm.
apps, all AI, everything's quick, quick, quick,
Mm-hmm.
right? Most of the stuff that I learned on Instagram, I learned it from my daughter when she was
That's
18 and
awesome.
19.
Yep.
So imagine. And
Mm-hmm.
when it's come as you as a midlife leader,
Mm-hmm.
you can make that bridge between you and the new generation by a couple of things. First of all, not judging them because they are younger. They come with a lot of intelligence. Also, they bring brilliant ideas. So you kind of want to build that bridge about adapting. Adoption is very
Mm-hmm.
important. It's like I always ask my daughter, what is the new things you are doing? Please teach me a little bit. Because they are,
Mm-hmm.
in technology wise, they are ahead of us. But by
Mm-hmm.
us adding value to them, not to judge them, we can just come to say the new generation, oh, I done all of that by hand. Now you're doing it in an app. That's dumb. Don't don't use those
Mm-hmm.
labels because they're gonna shift back. They're not gonna like communication with you. You have to say, oh my
Yep.
God, oh there is an app for that. Oh there is a Microsoft tools. Oh there's an Excel sheet. Can you teach
Mm-hmm.
me that? So kind of like building that appreciation and knowledge acknowledgement to them, and
Mm-hmm.
also what is affect a lot, especially uh, I do it at home and at work. Storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Storytelling is such a powerful tool, Dr. Leah, because you
Mm-hmm.
kind of sharing your insight with them by your previous experience. You said, oh my God, you remind me about myself when I was in college. I faced the
Mm-hmm.
same thing, but you know what's worked for me? The first time someone asked me to do this kind of storytelling, you add a little bit fun, you add a little bit sense of humor. And
Mm-hmm.
what do they said? Fact tell, story sell, right? The
Mm-hmm.
fact tell story sell, because the story, even when you give a speech and when you associate story with it, people will still
Yep.
remember that story from you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really like that. I was thinking too, you're kind of tying in some of that reverse mentoring where it becomes mutually beneficial across the generations.
Yeah.
Where if they're helping you with an app and then you're seeing them, you can give them some political insight that they likely are unaware of, or other elements that have come with your experiences that they haven't yet kind of grown on their own.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Reverse mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
It's remind me about, I think it was an article written by Robert Greene. He's a famous author, American author. He talked about people ask him what is the road for success. I think one line, I hope I'm putting it right. He said there is no shortcut to succeed, but one of the shortcut he can say, it's one of them is mentorship. You need a mentor,
Mm-hmm.
you need a coach.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, Dr. Leah, come to you and said, oh, mentorship is accessory, coach is an accessory. I'm here to tell you it's not. I'm a
Yeah.
certified ACC. I have client. I have my own coach, which I pay
Mm-hmm.
double than what the client pay me.
Yep.
Because I want to scale my game. I don't want to stay in the same level as a coach. I want you, when you see me in 5 years, said, wow, she's in different level. So I'm
Yep.
not going to be in that different level if I don't have a coach myself. So mentorship, it's so essential, and it's a two-way street. Like when I mentor younger engineers, who said I don't learn from them? I do. I do learn from them.
Yep.
I passed them 25 years, so they're picking up a lot of things that it didn't come across me as a professional engineer. So mentoring, it's very important. It's not an accessory.
Yes. And Sairan, I think I can say with complete confidence that you'll be leveled up before 5 years.
Thank you, Dr. Leah.
Yes. So let's think about shifting priorities, because we know that for many women, especially during midlife, there might be a shift and a desire for more fulfilling work. So with this kind of question, it's a multi-part one, but just thinking about how do we either articulate this if we think our current employer, if there's some capacity for us to take on different projects. And if that's not the case, if we find ourselves kind of looking at a new career path at this point in life, what strategies do you have?
Very good question. And that's go back to the niche I have in my business, finding your hidden gem or hidden talent. Here I am, engineer with technology skills, doing engineering, and look at my business. Have nothing to do with technology. It's to do with emotional intelligence. So basically what I did, I arrange marriage between IQ and EQ. So my IQ is all I have to be precise and concise. I have to solve the equation with no mistake because every number is going to make a fatal problem, right? I'm designing building bridges or sanitary sewer or water service. These are all precise and concise calculation. When it's come to my business, I shift my mind. So it's like IQ. I left the IQ at the day job and I deal with the EQ because when I do coaching and mentorship, I put all my soul and energy in it because that's exactly what is my hidden gem. That's exactly what I enjoy. And my message to your audience or any woman in midlife or leadership, you don't have to keep what doesn't add joy to your life. And I'll give you an example. You might have client PhD degree. She's teaching elite, Ivy League university, making a lot of money. But she come to me and I look at her LinkedIn, amazing. Oh my God, all the paper, all the podcasts, all the interviews she do. But she come not happy. And when you ask her, she said, I have PhD degree, I have wonderful kids, they are both well behaved, great degree and well established. My husband is wonderful. I have $5 million house, financially very comfortable. Then why you are here? And they tell you, I feel numb. It's like numb, going to work every day, coming home, fix dinner, sleep, next day the same thing. So there is lack of joy. And there is also, you feel like their soul is sad. Their energy sleep. It's like they're only numb and the soul is dead. Because all they are doing, they're just going to work, pick up the paycheck and come home. And my advice, to go back to your question, Dr. Leah, no way I'll come to that client and say, oh, quit your PhD degree teaching school. Just, you like painting, just paint.
Yeah.
That's not ideal, right? And that's not logic. First of all, she studied so many years. She paid all those bills. She established a quality life for her family. She's not going to quit all of that because her hidden gem is painting. No. What I'm asking that client is celebrate what you have. If you love to paint, you doing things by your hand, knitting, you writing, you speaking, you fixing things by hand. There is a lot of guys make table and you see their pieces like antique, right? And if you have that skill, make it a side heaven or haven. I call my business, I don't call my business side hustle. There is no hustle in my side business. My side business is side heaven or haven because when I go there, I don't feel the time and effort. Yeah. I love it. I'm just deep deep dive insight, like I'm swimming in a
Mm-hmm.
swimming pool, right?
Hmm.
So for
Yeah.
those women who see that their job is not really fulfilling them with joy, I tell
Mm-hmm.
them midlife is the time, because
Hmm.
midlife is the perfect time to align your work with a purpose. If you
Mm.
don't align your work with purpose, there is no joy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really love that. And I think too, I was listening and thinking about, especially in the US, we have this live to work mentality. And it sounds like it's helpful to flip it to the work to live. Like I work just to support this life, but recognizing that's one small part of a much fuller life.
Life is so full, and
Mm-hmm.
if midlife women know how much left, like you rather to have that
Mm-hmm.
alignment and discovery in your 50 that you never have it, and you die
Yeah.
and you keep saying, oh, I wish if I. That's so
Mm-hmm.
painful. But if you hit
Mm-hmm.
that alignment and realization when you are 50, you're going to have 20 years more quality living on your
Yeah.
dream and your side business. Nothing being wasted. There is nothing wrong that you went to school for law or for
Mm-hmm.
IT or for medical for 25 years. Nobody said that was wrong. But when you
Yeah.
hit your midlife, this is your time to rebirth. This is your time to shine. Add
Mm-hmm.
vivid color. Life is
Yeah.
still on. You don't have just to be an employee. You can
Mm-hmm.
create, you can add value, you can leave an impact.
Oh, it's so powerful. So let's think about networking now. And so we know there's this long storied history that's telling us how important networking is. And we know it's important. We have the research to support that. But we also know it can be very awkward, especially for introverts. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering what your top tips are for midlife women who are either seeking to build this network if they haven't yet, or maintain it.
I love the question. So networking is essential, just like
Hmm.
communication. I mean,
Hmm.
when I say networking, people think, oh, just attend anything you've been invited to. Or you invited to a women empowerment. You invited to educational event at the university, which is fine. At the beginning,
Hmm.
if you are just
Hmm.
starting this and you want to master networking, there is nothing wrong to attend to a couple of those in the beginning, just to test the water to see what do you align to, what is your energy falling into. My advice is, if you've been invited, you respect the person who invited you, thank them, so thank you for inviting me. But if you enter that room, and you will feel it, there
Hmm.
is no mutual energy exchange between you and the subject. It's all
Hmm.
about politics. It's all about religion. And
Hmm.
you are professional. You don't need to
Hmm.
be in places that doesn't belong to you. And it's not rude to tell the person who invited you to that religion or politics, whatever,
Hmm.
networking, say, thank you so much. I really enjoy, for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, but I am afraid I have to leave because I have
Hmm.
another commitment. So you attended just for
Hmm.
respect, but for next time, you know now that platform is all about those two subjects. So you can
Yeah.
avoid it, right?
Hmm.
So any network, Dr. Leah, if you feel doesn't add value to you and you don't add value to it, don't go. Because
Yeah.
it's a two-way street, right? So if I
Hmm.
go to a network, let's say you invite me to STEM, and there's
Hmm.
a lot of younger engineer there. I'm like, oh, Dr. Leah, this is beautiful.
Hmm.
It's remind me about me when I was young and all of that.
Yeah.
I come to that STEM and I start talking with those younger engineers. Oh my God, oh, you're doing this, you're gonna
Hmm.
do master. Oh, Dr. Leah too. Yeah, she
Hmm.
invited me. So there is like a communication back and forth. And
Hmm.
I add value to that younger girl because I'm mentoring her. I'm telling
Hmm.
her what's really worth, what's come after her study as a master engineer, what's real life in engineering. So I'm
Hmm.
adding value and there is a mutual communication. That's I can go back again. If you invite me next year for that
Hmm.
same STEM event,
Yep.
I'm going to come because I see
Hmm.
that energy exchange, right?
Hmm.
And networking to me, I have a strong belief it should not be only about you doing transaction and check, check, check. Oh, I know
Hmm.
Dr. Leah, she's going to make me appear on her podcast. I know Dr. Who is. It
Hmm.
doesn't work like that. it should be more about building rapport and also having deep conversation. Because when I come to this network, I need to learn something from you. If I'm just here to have a crowd and having the free lunch or dinner, what is that? You don't want to kill your time this way. You want to really utilize your time. You are in midlife. Time is gold, right? You want to really utilize that time in a way that adding value to others and add value to yourself.
Yeah, I really love that. I've never thought about networking as so reciprocal. It kind of felt more like a to-do. And I think too, that idea of shifting the focus to something more concrete, like building rapport and making it about depth rather than shaking every hand in the room, is a very, very helpful one.
Yes, definitely. You don't need to be liked and clapped every time you appear anywhere. It's not about you. That's attention syndrome. We all have that ego after certain years. I am whoever. Look at my LinkedIn. Who cares, right? There's a lot of important people that are very humble and they appear on those, and you never know they are millionaires or they are entrepreneur or they are philanthropists. They do a lot of great things. They never show it this way. But if you feel you don't belong, just leave in a diplomatic way. Yeah.
Very helpful. So thinking about syndromes, let's think about imposter syndrome. And this is one we know we can experience it at any point in our career. And I know as a leadership communication scholar, I have a lot of women who say this really came up when I got that manager role or that director role. So, Sairan, how do you help women combat that self-doubt and learn to communicate their accomplishments, their abilities with confidence?
Yes. So the imposter syndrome is just like the obstacle and the challenges we talk about. I will not only me. No one can come to you and say, "Oh, there is a manual, there is a book. You follow 1, 2, 3, and the imposter syndrome will go away." Again, not those things doesn't go away. You just learn how to handle them in a better way, right? I can't come because I have confidence. I said, I have confidence. I can speak tomorrow for an audience, 50,000, and I never spoke before. You will still be nervous to be in that stage. You still be nervous. You're still going to stay nervous before any podcast. You're still going to be nervous for your next promotion, next interview. The way how I handle that nervousness, I make it kind of like excitement. Like when last week, one of my clients, she said, "Oh, I see you speaking at Richmond for the Women's Summit. Are you nervous?" I said, "In reality, I am, but I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say I'm excited." So again, I'm tweaking the word, right? That's number one. Number two, for the emerging leader or younger girls who want to be supervisor, manager, and leader at your job, I always telling them, don't seek that perfectionist. No one is perfect, right? But if you accomplish a win or a small achievement, have like a log. Say, "Oh, within 6 months, I learned 3 software." That's a win. So little by little, your imposter syndrome go away, because you see, like in January, you were all scared about those 3 software, but by June, you are mastering those 3 software. Now you're teaching others that software. So that's imposter syndrome will sleep, because I was scared. Now it's down because I learned how to do it. So basically, the antidote for that syndrome is action. It's only action. Because if I'm still scared, if you keep telling me, Sairan, I wish if you come to my podcast, and I keep telling Dr. Leah, I'm so scared. Oh my God, I'm intimidated. Okay, I'm not going to be fit for your podcast. But if I take action, if I show up with all the flaws and all the shortcomings that I have, my accent or whatever, I will not match your knowledge here. But just by me showing up and adding value to your podcast, my imposter syndrome went away because I took action. That's the only way you can get rid of it.
Yep. And when you were just saying that, I love that idea of action as the answer, because with syndrome, we feel stuck, right? It can
Yes,
feel like a paralysis,
yes,
and it's easy to remain stuck.
yes,
But
yeah,
it's that one step, that little bit of action, like you said, the goal setting in January and saying, oh, wow, I
yes,
did these. I was so afraid of these softwares, and now
yes.
I'm teaching others. Yeah.
Yes, you take the move. I think Tony Robinson said it in one of his interview. He said, when you feel stuck, like you said, Dr. Leah, it's the best things
Hmm.
to do is to stand up and just move your body. It's like that
Hmm.
you disrupt the thinking, you disrupt the chain. So you stand up and
Hmm.
you move your hands and your legs. And he's
Yep.
right. Because when you
Hmm.
sit and you're comfortable, he said, oh my God, I
Hmm.
can't do this. I'm really stuck. But if you stand up and you do something, you kind of like
Hmm.
disrupt the thinking, right? The negative
Yep.
thinking. You're going to get out of that cycle. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And so I want to talk about mentorship again. And I know we've already touched on this, that I think we can't underestimate how much this means, at any point in our career. But I think, as you've been saying, there's a special function it can play for a midlife woman in empowering them. So, can you give us a little more insight, or anything you haven't already had the chance to add, about kind of the role of mentorship for an empowering midlife women, both as the mentor, but also as a mentee?
Yes. I don't know if you looked at my LinkedIn page, that the platform or the area that I mentor at, not necessarily that all technology, although
Hmm.
that's my background. So
Yeah.
I did mentor at Women in Technology. I mentor at Women in Engineering at George Washington University.
Hmm.
I mentor at ACEC. They're all engineers. But I also try to mentor some younger women who are just seeking clarity, because
Hmm.
we as women, even when we are younger age, we always have that belief we have to figure it out all by 30.
Hmm.
Why? Who said that? Is there is a book say that? Oh,
Hmm.
I got married, I have to have a babies right away, I have to get my master right away, I
Hmm.
have to buy a house, my American dream, I have my bills off. Who said? There is
Hmm.
no manual and rules telling you 31 is the best age or 32 is the best age to doing your master or having a baby. You go with the flow and you go what is best for you. So that's where mentorship comes. Very essential, and it's very handy. Because when you have a mentor, it's a guidance. I'm not going to tell the younger engineer, oh, I did it this way. You should do it my way. That's not
Hmm.
mentorship, right? Mentorship is like I'm holding the flashlight. I'm just going to say, hey,
Hmm.
this is what are you doing? I'm holding the flashlight. It's adding more light to the path. Just adding
Hmm.
more light
Hmm.
and a guidance. And if
Hmm.
that lady challenged me, she's 23 and I'm in my 50s, she said, I don't think so. I said, then I don't think you are a good fit as a mentee, because I'm not telling you what to do. I
Hmm.
am guiding you to the right path, right? So it's up
Yep.
to you. It's all inner work. If you want to take
Hmm.
it in and do your homework, great. If you are here to kind of like challenging who's ahead of you 25 years,
Hmm.
that's a different story. We are
Yep.
competing here, right? But I have to be honest with you, Dr. Leah, among all the mentorship I did, I benefit a lot in both ways. I benefit when I've been mentored, and I
Hmm.
benefit when I was mentoring others. And
Hmm.
what I did after I shut down my old platform in September 2023, I changed my niche
Hmm.
from transition expert to a business strategist. I had
Hmm.
women mentor before, and they were
Hmm.
amazing, amazing women mentor. Uh, women to women, they were nice to me.
Hmm.
Oh my God, Sairan, you change a lot. We see you're scaling up
Hmm.
here. You are better than 5 years ago. I say, you know what? This time I'm going to have a man mentoring me, and a man has
Hmm.
nothing to do with engineering. So I had one of
Hmm.
those mentor, a Mel. He was, I think, late 70 and retired pilot. Look at
Hmm. Yeah,
there is no
exactly.
relation
Yep.
between me and him, right? But his
Hmm.
perspective came out to me so fresh and challenging,
Hmm.
because he was a military guy, pilot, and all orders. And here I
Hmm.
am, the lady with equation, right? And
Yep.
he was a male. He was looking at other things that other women mentors didn't see it.
Mm.
So I
Hmm.
benefit from both. I benefit from both
Yeah.
perspective because they add certain things, and actually they point out things that I never thought about.
Mm.
I never thought about. I
Mm-hmm.
have one of the mentor from Illinois. She was telling me, "Oh my God, you do have sense of humor. I would use it more." And I was like, "Okay, I'm an engineer. I have to look all bold and
Mm-hmm.
rigid and all
Yeah.
serious, and I literally don't blink
Mm-hmm.
at the staff meeting. Like if I'm with other engineers, I don't blink
Yeah.
because I look
Mm-hmm.
so, like
Mm-hmm.
all in her, in her space, and she know what she's talking about. She said, "No, Sairan,
Yep.
you don't have to. We have to add little bit flavors like salt to the food. You have sense of humor, just use it." So
Mm-hmm.
mentorship, it's essential in both way. If you are mentoring
Mm-hmm.
or you've been mentored.
Mm-hmm. And I love too the idea. There's, I think, a certain maturity that someone has to have when they are recognizing that there's something to learn from everyone, and not saying you're the one mentor I need or you're in this category that I need, but recognizing, and there might be points in our life when we need someone who's just in one certain niche or certain identity markers. But I think too, when you kind of pull that curtain back and recognize we are so different, but that's what I really need now. I need, someone to provide insight in areas that I don't see or I don't know. Oh.
You said we are so different. It's remind me about something. It's so true. Even a relationship, you see, you are a friend, close friend with someone totally different than you.
Mm-hmm.
They are
Yep.
totally different, everything. And that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly when I met my husband. He is 100% different than me in everything. Thanks God he's not an engineer.
Yep.
I thanks
Mm-hmm.
God every day he's not an engineer,
Mm-hmm.
because two engineer in the house, it's a disaster. But he's different than me in everything. His
Mm-hmm.
approach, literally, Dr. Leah, if we go to a furniture store and we see two table, only two table, he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna like the one that I don't like.
Yep.
It's totally different.
Yep.
But we
Yep.
become such a good partner and a wife and
Mm-hmm.
husband because all our
Yeah.
approaches differently. And going back to that mentorship part, also I want to add one more thing.
Yeah.
Even people when they come across to you being, I'm saying, I'm not going to use rude word. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to say unprofessional, and they
Mm-hmm.
point something in you in your LinkedIn or a comment in Instagram or Facebook or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't come across professional. You benefit even from that
Mm-hmm.
because they are pointing to something. You just brush it away. You didn't give much value, but it's getting your enemy's attention. So you were like,
Mm.
let me fix that so it will not be a point of attack next time. So
Mm-hmm.
actually, your enemies are doing you a favor by mentioning it because they are really viewing you, vetting your comments in a way, in a very critical way, said, I thought this is not major, but I'm going to look into it. So next
Yes.
time they have no other short area to point at. So
Yeah.
everybody giving you comment is beneficial.
Yeah. I was just thinking about maturity and the emotional intelligence too that it takes to be able to interpret that as a gift in some ways, even though it does not feel like a gift moment,
Yes. Yeah.
but recognizing it's a place to grow from.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yep.
So I have two final questions for you, Sairan, and they're connected. So the way we end all episodes of the Communicative Leader is with this really pragmatic, it can be leadership, communication, tip, advice, challenge. So the first part, it is for our titled leaders out there, our managers, our directors, our supervisors. And then the second part is kind of advice for all employees across all ranks.
Okay. So the first one, what is my advice to title leaders or managers? Which
Mhm.
is a big difference between a leader and a manager. Managers
Yep,
making the
that's
projects
true. Yep.
finished. Leader, you have to be a role model. You cannot
Mhm,
be a leader if you are not a role model. You cannot
mhm,
call yourself an effective leader if you are not doing all the ethic aspect of it work. So if you want your team to follow you, and by preaching, telling them you have to do this. I done it this way. Do it my way or the highway. That's a manager. That's not a leader.
yep.
So I feel like most of the leader, with all respect, I some of them when I meet them, during, engineering meeting. Their LinkedIn profile is amazing. Every credential you think about in engineering, every degree, every certification. But man, so difficult to deal with them because they are not active listeners. They come to this meeting with their fancy LinkedIn title. He's a chief safety officer, director, chief engineer, whatever it is. And he thinks he can just roll over all his style without listening. Basically, he is not giving space to the audience. He just see himself. He come to the table and he said, I'm a leader. I'm going to make decisions, right? There is no active listening. There is no communication skills. So I feel leaders, they need to listen more. And if they are very impactful, really, and they are making decisions, they don't have to go all the time at the beginning. They don't need to give us that speech about how great they are, how they closed these projects before, they are genius, they've been skipped by Elon Musk, they can be partner with Elon Musk or whatever. Fine, we saw your LinkedIn. Guess what? I'm not impressed. First of all, you need to listen to the audience. You need to listen to the younger engineers. You need to give a space and make your presence welcoming, so people can approach you for ideas, for motivation, for things that really make a shortcut at work, benefit the whole team. So when you create that welcoming environment, it's like a family. Same thing like parenting. I feel like a leader is a good parent. Because if I am not giving my kids that space to come to me and telling me what's happened in their day, they have certain challenges in the college, I'm not bringing them to my circle, my trust, circle of trust, right? Same thing with leaders. For title leaders, they need to listen more and make an environment, space environment, include everyone, and don't judge younger emerging leaders because they have a lot to offer. Just give them a chance and let them shine. Let them shine.
Yeah.
The second part, what did you say? Advice to
Yeah.
all.
So, all employees across all ranks, all industries. So the folks who aren't in a titled leadership position, what do you wish they knew or were working on or thoughtful of?
Yeah, that's a very important question. And for anyone who's hearing us in this podcast and who's trying to make an impact or a difference, first of all, they need to know it's all on them. It's an inside job. Don't blame the society. Don't blame the election. Don't blame the news. Don't blame anyone. It's you. This is you versus you, right? It's not versus anybody else. It's an inside job. And for younger generation, I feel that they always bring up the word of confidence. I'm not confident to apply for a manager. I'm not confident to be a leader. I'm not confident to be a supervisor. I always tell them the same answer. You will never, ever gain that confidence if you are not competent. You have to gain the skills. It's when we say confidence, action breeds confidence. Always, when you take action in your skills, it's breed your confidence and build your confidence. So when you become competent, I go back to the example I said, if I'm January, you hiring me and you're giving me 3 software that I'm scared to death to learn them. But if I learn them towards June and I become so master at it to teach it to others, I build my confidence by being competent. Because if I'm not competent, trust me, you go to that room, the minute you show up in that room, people see it. People see it. It's not fake it until you make it. No, it's work it until you make it. You have to work and act on it. It's action. I can fake it inside, like between me, subconscious and conscious. That's different. That's an inner voice, right? But when I enter that room and there is 50 competent engineer that I'm challenging their design, I better to be done with my homework. I
Yep.
better to know the book. I better to know those codes for structure and steel and concrete and
Yep.
soil. I'm not going to show up there just because in my mid 50 and I'm a smart engineer. That doesn't work. I have to be competent because every single person in that meeting will challenge me. So by me not doing the homework and not having the facts, it's an assumption all the time. You need facts. I think Renee Brown talked about it. Her line say, when you lack of data, you're making a lot of assumption. It's true. You go to those meetings, educational, medicine, it doesn't matter. If you have no facts, you're making assumption. You need the data because you back up yourself, said, I am challenging you because manual 16.1 says such and such. Nobody can speak up and nobody will bother you because they know you are a woman with fact, with homework. She did her stuff. She had her bullets clear, right? I'm not challenging her. And another advice for all employees is be clear where you're heading. Clarity is power, Dr. Leah. Without clarity, I tell my client when they do complimentary 30 minutes with me, I said, please, if you are not clear, don't hire me because I need you to be clear where you're heading. If you hiring me to build your confidence, don't talk about losing weight in your session. That has nothing to do with the goal. Don't mix them up. You are here with clarity. You need a clear path. It's inside job. Do it now. Don't wait. Anything you want to do for all the audience, do it now before you are ready. Don't wait. Wait is
You're right,
punishment.
because you're never
Just
ready.
do it. It's a punishment. It's a punishment.
It
Don't take
is.
those dreams and if with you until the grave. Don't take that if I wish. No. Do it now before you are ready. That's my advice to all employees.
Yes, that is so helpful. And I was thinking too, with your focus on competence, I love that because it's tangible. It's something I can actually map out a plan for. I can chart my progress. Whereas I say I want to become more confident, that is this murky future, vague state that I'll never know if I've if I've reached it.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. It's very important and clear and know what you want. You have to know. Robert Greene talked about it in the Mastery book. What is your life purpose? What is your life task? And in I think it's chapter 1. Life. You call it life task. What is your task? Don't brush it away. You come to this. You come to this world not just by making a paycheck and have a nice house and through a Thanksgiving dinner. That's not life. That's everybody's routine day to day. You are in this life to leave an impact and a purpose. Your purpose is different than my purpose. We complete the puzzles and we make this coexisting. We need to know what's our impact in order to leave a legacy after us.
So powerful. Well, Sairan, thank you for sharing your time with us, for all of this wealth of information that I know is going to be really, really helpful for our leaders. So again, thank you, and I appreciate you.
Thanks to you, Dr. Leah. I was honored to be in your platform, and for the sake of your audience and giving a gift away, I am willing to give away anyone who mentioned your name and your platform. I am willing to give away 30 minutes complimentary session. If they want to scale their LinkedIn or they want to start something in a side beside it, if they mention your name and your platform, they will get that complimentary 30 minutes with you.
Oh, thank you. I'll be sure to link all of your information.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, my friends, that wraps up our conversation today. Until next time, communicate with intention and lead with purpose. I'm looking forward to chatting with you again soon on the Communicative Leader.